Poland's prime minister said Netanyahu would not be arrested when attending an Auschwitz event despite facing an ICC arrest warrant.
Alexander Schallenberg, Austria's foreign minister, has been sworn in as interim chancellor following Karl Nehammer's resignation.
Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk assured that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu would not be arrested if he attends the Auschwitz commemoration later this month. The decision comes after Polish President Andrzej Duda asked Tusk to ensure Netanyahu's protection, who faces an arrest warrant issued by the world's top criminal court.
W związku z planowanymi w dniu 27 stycznia uroczystościami 80. rocznicy wyzwolenia byłego niemieckiego nazistowskiego obozu koncentracyjnego i zagłady Auschwitz-Birkenau w Oświęcimiu, wraz z obchodzonym także w tym dniu na świecie Międzynarodowym Dniem Pamięci o ofiarach Holokaustu, rząd Rzeczypospolitej Polskiej oświadcza, iż zapewni wolny i bezpieczny dostęp i udział w tych obchodach najwyższym przedstawicielom państwa Izrael.
Last year in November, the International Criminal Court in The Hague issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity in connection with the war in Gaza. Member countries of the ICC, which includes Poland, are required to detain suspects facing a warrant if they set foot on their soil. However, the court has no way of enforcing that. It is still unsure whether Netanyahu will attend the event or not.
Alexander Schallenberg, Austria's foreign minister, was sworn in as interim chancellor on Friday while the country works to form a new government. Schallenberg, 55, is stepping in after Conservative Chancellor Karl Nehammer, part of the Austrian People's Party, announced his resignation last weekend. Nehammer decided to step down after failing to form a coalition without including the far-right Freedom Party. But following Nehammer's resignation, his Austrian People's Party reversed its stance and is now open to working with the far-right Freedom Party, led by Herbert Kickl. The interim leader of the People's Party, Christian Stocker, said he will meet with Kickl. This will be Schallenberg's second brief term as Austria's leader.
Maritime authorities in Estonia say they've stepped up patrols in the Baltic Sea in a show of force after last month's suspected cable sabotage. At least 3 Estonian Navy ships are part of the patrols by NATO countries following the damage done to the S-Link 2 power cable and communication links between Finland and Estonia on December 25. Suspicion immediately fell on Russia, although nothing has been proven and the Kremlin denied involvement. According to the crew of the Estonian mine hunter EML Sakala, officials were keeping a careful eye using binoculars and cameras on any vessel slowing down suspiciously or suddenly changing course. While European authorities have acted more decisively in recent months to hold ships suspected of sabotage, officials have stopped short of accusing Moscow without proof.
The late U.S. President Jimmy Carter was given a state funeral at the Washington National Cathedral in the U.S. Capitol. Multiple foreign dignitaries were present at the final honoring of the 39th president, including Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Current and former presidents were also in attendance, including President-elect Donald Trump. The incoming U.S. president was seated in the second row alongside Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary, George W. Bush and his wife, and Barack Obama. Obama and Trump shared a rare moment as the pair talked, joked, and laughed together for several minutes before the start of the service. U.S. President Joe Biden, who's set to leave office in less than 2 weeks, delivered the eulogy. Biden shared an emotional message highlighting the deep friendship he and Carter shared for almost 6 decades. The U.S. president praised Carter for his character and unwavering principles and celebrated his accomplishments, which he says were heavily discounted.
Many think he was from a bygone era. But in reality, he saw well into the future. A white Southern Baptist who led on civil rights, a decorated Navy veteran who brokered peace, a brilliant nuclear engineer who led on nuclear nonproliferation, a hardworking farmer who championed conservation and clean energy, and a president who redefined the relationship with a vice president.
Biden ended the message on a personal note, sharing that he misses Carter, but takes solace in knowing that he'll be reunited with his wife of 77 years, Rosalind. Jimmy Carter's casket was once again loaded on a plane headed to his hometown of Plains, Georgia. The late president, who died aged 100 on the 29th of December, will be given a private funeral with friends and family. He'll then be buried beside his wife in the small town they were born, grew up, lived most of their lives, and died. At least 10 people are believed to be dead as wildfires continue to rage in Los Angeles. The city has been battling 5 concurrent fires, 2 of them classified major, that have caused extensive damage to the iconic city. And officials confirmed that a 6th fire, named Kenneth, has broken out.
We are now actively engaged in a new brush fire. We're calling it the Kenneth Fire in the West Hills area of Los Angeles on the border of Ventura County. This fire was over 50 acres upon arrival, with the potential for rapid growth.
Authorities say the 2 biggest fires, the Palisades and Eaton, have destroyed more than 10,000 structures combined. Homes, buildings, grocery stores, banks, schools, and places of worship were burnt to a crisp in what U.S. President Joe Biden called the worst fires to ever hit the city. Many areas across LA are covered in thick clouds of smoke and ash, further devastating Angelenos.
But I've woken up with burning eyes and a sore throat, coughing. I've had friends talk about getting nosebleeds. It's just awful. I'm sleeping in a mask.
And the problem is not one that will likely fade soon.
The amount of smog and toxins in the air, it's like, you know, even though our house is spared, obviously we're probably not going to be able to move back in for months.
Officials say the Palisades and Eaton fires alone have burnt through close to 30,000 acres of land. The other 4 fires that are still ablaze are responsible for even more damage. Analysts say it can take months or even years to rebuild to pre-fire levels. And though the government has not yet released figures on how much the damages are estimated at, private companies believe costs are in the $135 to $150 billion region.
Scientists say the world must find rapid solutions as global temperatures are now teetering on the edge of passing the crucial 1.5 degrees Celsius warming limit. According to the Copernicus Climate Change Service, 2024 was the warmest year on record and the first calendar year where the global temperature exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The limit set by the Paris Agreement refers to temperature anomalies averaged over at least 20 years. Though this has not been broken, experts warn that data, however, underscores that global temperatures are now rising beyond what modern humans have ever experienced before. Last year brought many deadly extreme weather events around the world, from severe storms to flooding, drought, heat waves, and wildfires. A 2018 United Nations study found that keeping Earth's temperature rise could save and prevent many people's death and suffering. Italy's Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani visited Syria for the first time since the fall of Bashar al-Assad and met with the head of government, Ahmad al-Shara, also known as Abu Mohammed al-Julani. The meeting on Friday in Damascus comes as Syria tries to chart a new path after a coalition of armed opposition groups drove Assad from power and into asylum in early December. Tajani held discussions with the head of the Syrian government and Foreign Minister Assad al-Shibani in the capital. The Italian foreign minister said Rome was aiming to encourage a new phase in the way of creating stability in Syria and the region. Tajani also walked around Damascus and paid a visit to the city's main mosque. Last year, Rome made the decision to start a rapprochement with Syria and reopen its embassy in Damascus 12 years after the last ambassador's departure.
Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, was arrested after leading a rally in the capital, Caracas. Her aides say she was violently intercepted by President Nicolas Maduro's forces as she left the rally on a motorcycle convoy with her security team. She was later released and in a post on social media platform X informed supporters that she's in a safe place. Machado had called on supporters to take to the streets on Thursday, a day before Maduro is sworn in for a third term. The opposition leader has organized regular protests since elections on the 28th of July, which they say was rigged. The opposition had routinely stated that they've provided credible evidence that was verified by international observers, which indicated their win. Their findings estimated that the opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez crushed Maduro by a 2-to-1 margin. Machado had been in hiding for months as the Maduro regime intensified its crackdown on dissent. Machado and Gonzalez say they will continue to protest against this injustice until the will of the Venezuelan people is delivered.